All right, so we're here at what's this place called? Chapters on Main in Van Buren, Arkansas. Got some coffee. I think mine was
some kind of pumpkin spice.
Mine was pumpkin supreme cold brew. Yours was pumpkin pie spice latte. Was it?
Yeah. Wait. Paradise
pumpkin
pie latte.
Okay, let's try it. What do you rate it?
7 out of 10.
7? That's always so like basic. You gotta give it.
But it's like it's not great. It's not bad.
I gotta give it like a 5.5.
5.5.
5.5. 5.5. It's like in the middle. It's in the middle. All right. So my name's Andreas.
I'm Josiah. So me and Andreas, or actually, I was just kind of like, sitting in my room one day. I was like, it would be really cool if I did a podcast or something. So I started like talking about it on like my Instagram notes and stuff, and then Andreas Stout over here DMs me, and he's just like, bro, we should do one together. And so
here we are. We're at Chapters on Main, drinking coffee and starting a podcast.
It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I've been trying to prepare for this.
It's been pretty busy. Schedule's been hectic, but here we are. Basically, like I already said this, we'll be talking about like how we'll talk about really anything, and we're like faith-based podcasts, so nothing like satanic on this or stuff. Yeah. But our first episode, we'll talk about our testimony. So, you want me to go first, or I'll go first?
Yeah, you go first, bro.
I'll go first. So, my testimony starts really kind of like, I would say when I was like 10 or 9. All the way growing up, I was always like in church, always. I was in Pentecostal church. That's where I started out with going with my grandma and my parents. Yeah. And I was raised up in the church all the time. In the church I went to, there's no hate or anything, but I would always like think of like, if I do something bad, like God doesn't love me no more. Like sinning like was like the worst thing ever, and if I sinned, I would never go to heaven. And that's why I had the perspective for a long time and stuff. So because of that, I just like didn't really have a good relationship with God during that time, and of course I was young, so I didn't have I didn't really have a full understanding.
Yeah. Were you kind of like you felt like so much fear?
Yeah, I felt so much fear like so much fear and like just doing bad stuff all the time. So I always tried to be like perfect, I guess. Yeah. But then
so
eventually,
like your shame kind of brought you away from God.
And then eventually that just wore off, and I just kind of like stopped caring about like Christianity in general. Like I really just like didn't even think, like I didn't really have like the thought of like Christianity in my mind growing up until it was like 6th grade. And 6th grade is like middle school, and middle school was like rough for me, I feel like, just because I went through a lot of different stuff, like especially with like family and school stuff and just with all friends. And during all of middle school, I didn't really have like I wasn't really focused on Christ as much either. Like, yes, I'd go to youth and stuff, but I wasn't too, like, locked in, like, as I would say, as I am now. Mm-hmm. But while I was in middle school, I got introduced to, like lustful things, like sexual thoughts and stuff, and that really just, like took my relationship with Christ even less, because I was more, like, I was doing that all the time, and I was never focused on him. And I was also just getting into the wrong crowd with people, like doing bad things, getting in trouble all the time, and just like never being like right, like I was always just like a bad kid, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then summer came along, and I just was like, a lot of stuff happened with my family, and I had no one to go to about it because I wasn't close with church. I just stopped going to church after when summer happened, and then I just was alone. So I just like kept in like going to lust and just like kept on lusting all throughout summer. And then I found a bad friend group again and was just doing wrong things all the time. And I wasn't close at all with the Lord. And then 7th grade came along, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a start of a new year, and this is going to be great. And then 7th grade was going, I was kind of like on the middle, like on the plane. I was like kind of flat, nowhere on my relationship with Christ. And then I went to this thing called Fall Retreat with Heritage Church, and
was it the one I went to?
Yeah, it was the one. That was my first time. I think you were in 9th grade. Yeah, I think so.
I think it was 10th grade for me.
When did you start coming? It was like,
I swear it was like 10th grade. I think.
I know 7th grade was the year I went. I think so. I don't know. So sometime like that. But
you're a sophomore now.
Yeah.
So it might have been 9th grade.
Yeah, I think so. It's okay. But I went to that, and I was really just, I came there with the mindset of, like, having fun, because that's what it was advertised as. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to have fun. Like, this is going to be great. I didn't really have a thought of Christ in my mind. And I'll skip everything, but it was worship night. It was the last night there, and we were worshiping, and then I just met Christ. Like, we were worshiping, like, we were singing gratitude, and then I just started crying. Like, I just had a wave of tears just followed me, and then I ended up going to Jake, which was the youth pastor, and I, like, told him everything.
I love
and
Jake,
then,
bro.
Yeah, he's good.
So cool.
He's good. And I told him everything, and I just felt free. And I was, like, on this spiritual high for, like, probably 3 weeks at that time. And then I came back home, or I was home. I was, like, not giving into all, like, lust and, like, my bad friend group. I found new people to hang around with. And then I eventually was, like, one night alone, and then I just, like, started giving into my sexual thoughts again, or my lustful thoughts. And I did all that, and then I just plummeted. My relationship with Christ was at a standstill again. And then that was all throughout 7th grade. There was just no change in there. And I was just focused on the wrong things. Like, I was focused on being good for this friend group, and then also being good for this one girl, and then just all this different stuff. I just was not focused on him. Yeah. And during that time, I just was not anywhere, like, near reading the Bible either. Like, it was just bad. And that was all the way out through 7th grade, and then summer. And then 8th grade comes along, and start of the year, everything's going great. I found new people again, and they're great friends. And then spring break comes along, and it's the year for Heritage, like 8th graders, right? 8th grade is the year you can go to spring break. Mm-hmm. And the spring break trip that Heritage does, it's like where we go skiing and stuff. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Go to that. And I was gonna go, and then eventually things were just like going really bad that time with money wise, and like money was tight, so I wasn't gonna be able to go. And I told Jake I couldn't. He was like, well, the crazy thing is that we actually just, like, someone just paid, like, for your trip actually. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And I was like, man, maybe I really do need to go to this trip. And so I did, and then I went, and I like same as usual, it was a worship night, and I just broke down. And this time I actually gave everything to the Lord, and this is when I actually started growing my relationship with Christ more and more. And so during that time, I was not giving into anything at all throughout 8th grade year. I was doing great. And then summer came along, and it was another, like, season of loneliness where I had no one to talk to. Yeah. And it was just,
I feel like isolation is probably one of the things that I feel like affects most people and, like, brings them away from Christ.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's just my experience. I'll tell you that in a second, but continue.
But, like, summer just made me so alone, and I was like, and I gave into all these sins again, and I was like, what is going on? Like, I need to, like, I don't know what's going on. And so we had a summer retreat. I don't know if you went to that one, but we did a summer retreat, and I went to that, and I just got brought back to the Lord. And I was like, man, like, I'm back, this is me. And that was going all the way through to 9th grade year, and then until 9th grade, start of the year. And then once that had started, I was kind of going down, but I wasn't fully, like, flatlined, I was just going down, And 9th grade happened, and we go through all the way through the year, and I'm eventually just at a standstill point again. And so once that happens, I just during that time period, I also had the thoughts of just, like, a suicide as well, because I was also going through a rough time that year as well. Yeah. But also, like, during that time, I was kind of going up, because I was finding new friends again that they're still my friends to this time, and I'd hang out with them all the time. But through 9th grade, I was going through a lot of, like, bad thoughts, and then so was people around me as well, like family and stuff. And so because of that, I just wasn't doing good, and I eventually came to the point where I almost did that one time during 9th grade year. And then after that, I eventually was just flat, like I was just numb. And then spring break came again, and I was going to go on the spring break trip, and I did. And this year, it was like eye-opener. Like, so second day, most people know, but, like, we were skiing, and I got hurt very badly. Like, it was really bad.
Yeah, I remember
really bad.
That.
Yeah,
was it, like a double black diamond?
It was bad. It was
you, like,
man, I can't believe it. So I came back to this trip, like, knowing, like like this time I had a different mindset about this trip. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a trip where I like lock in with my relationship with Christ. Eventually I did, but we'll get to that later. But we get there, first day's fine, and then second day is when we start skiing. And I went up the mountain and I thought I had it all. I thought it was pretty good. Then we went down this one part that was kind of hard, and so we did. And
you got big-headed, kind of.
I got big-headed, and I was like, I can do this. And then eventually I ended up just like, I crashed really bad. I was going super fast, and then I hit this bump, and I get shot up in the air, fall on my face, and I just rolled down the mountain, and it was horrible. Like, everything was off of me. I bit my tongue open. My face was, like, scratched up. I got a concussion and stuff.
Yeah. I remember you saying you don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember anything from that day.
Yeah.
And I actually, like, I lost some of my memory before that. Like, it's some stuff, like, I don't remember. But it was crazy. But I ended up coming, like, I ended up stopping, and my skis are, like, all the way across, spread out the mountain. My shirt's all ripped up. Everything's, like, just ripped up on me. There's, like, blood all over my face. I can't even talk. And then I end up waking up, and I, like, don't feel anything. Like, apparently someone told me that I woke up and, like, started walking to go grab all my stuff, and I just, like, collapsed to the ground. And then I blacked out. I think that was the time where I blacked out. So I blacked out, and then people were, like, coming down to me. I wake up to hearing, like, people were like, dude, wake up. You gotta go. You're gonna, like, get hit if you stay down. And so we're over here, and there's people around me from my church that were with me, and they were like, you gotta go. And then I end up waking up, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what's wrong? And then I end up like feeling my face, because I felt like I saw like red on the ground, and I ended up feeling my face, and I was like, I just started screaming, because then all the pain and all the adrenaline just left my body. So now I felt all this pain just come at me, and I was like, I just started screaming, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I just laid down, and then they ended up having to push me to the side where I wouldn't get hit. Yeah. And then after that, a lady came up, and then she was like, she picked me up, and then I started walking down the mountain and stuff. She came up, and she was like, are you okay? I started walking, and I was like, it's gonna be embarrassing, but I was like, I want my mom, and I was like listing every family member in my family, dude. I was like, I want them. And then we got down, and then everyone was like, holy crap. Like, I remember like people being like, holy dude, your face is jacked up. And then we ended up going down, and then to the like infirmary, and they were like, you got to go to the hospital, like, because like everything was just bruised up about me. Surprisingly, I didn't break no bones.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's insane.
I know, it was crazy. Like, they were like surprised I didn't. But we ended up getting someone to drive us to a hospital. We went to like an emergency room, and I remember like just trying to fight sleep the whole entire time, to be honest. But going there, we got to the infirmary room, and they just looked over me and like see what all was wrong with me. They obviously like saw my face. They saw like scratches all over my like body, because my parts of my clothing was ripped. But then they were like, I'm surprised like you didn't get a brain bleed, because they were like, your concussion, like obviously you have a concussion, but they're like, the way you like fell and stuff, like I'm surprised you didn't get like a brain bleed. And I was like, man, that's crazy. So we ended up leaving the infirmary, and we go back, and basically why I told that whole story is because that trip really opened my eye, because like, man, like I was like, I could have died because of the brain bleed. Like I could have like really get damaged there.
It's humbling.
And I was like, man, dude, like it really was humbling. I was like, dude, I could have died, and like something worse could have happened, you know? And I was like, man, like God really is good. And then, but after that night, like I just fall asleep, and I was dead the whole entire day. And then after that day, like I was like, okay, like I wasn't supposed to be around loud noises, but like I was like, I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go worship. And then I was like, okay, I went down, and I had like a headache and stuff, but I was like, I gotta worship, you know, and give thanks to the Lord. And so I did, and then God just like came over me and just was like I love you, and you need to like you are meant for me, like you're meant greater, you know. And so I did, and I was talking to Jake, and then we had a small group that night, and then hurt and stuff. But when I came home, I was like, I'm locking in. So I started reading my Bible more. I started getting in the Word more, like doing more stuff with Christ and stuff. And then
is there like a specific way you kind of like helped yourself, or kind of like got into that routine?
I think just like for me, like it's just that eye-opening experience. I was like, man, like God really loves me, and so I did. And then I was like, I'm gonna go.
Just that experience in and of itself.
Yeah, that experience
really.
In itself just like got me to like start reading more. And so I did, started reading my Bible more. And really at that time I didn't have a Bible. So I was doing it on the Bible app, which eventually, like I was doing that for a long time, but then I just kind of got worn out, you know? Like, I was just kind of wasn't feeding into it a lot more because I was on the phone. Like, I was reading on the phone, and I eventually just grew out of that. I grew out of reading the Bible, but my relationship with Christ was still good, you know? It wasn't, like, at a flat line, but it was still pretty good, you know?
Yeah.
So, I was doing all that.
It was kind of like a progression, like, this whole time.
Yeah.
And then you're taking steps.
Yeah, I was taking steps, but, like, the fire wasn't burnt out. Like, I was still on fire for him. I just wasn't, like, getting... Like, the routine of me reading the Bible just kind of fell off, but me being a believer just... Or, like, me... I don't know if that makes sense, but me, like, staying on fire for him was still kind of there. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But that kind of happened, and then summer came by, and I was kind of more active during the summer because I had like, marching band stuff, so that kept me around more people. But because of that, I was around, like, people that weren't believers like me, you know?
Yeah. That
weren't, like, on fire for the Lord, and there wasn't that much people there. So I kind of, like, stopped being on fire for him during the summer. And then, after that, like, the school year came around, and then, marching band season's over, school year came around, and then I meet this, guy, and, I don't know, Brady
Perkins?
Yeah. I meet him, and me and him, like...
What a cool guy.
I know, I love him. But
no glaze.
We talked for a while, and then he tells me his whole story and stuff, and then I see him, like, carry his Bible and stuff, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start doing that too, you know? And so I bought a Bible, and I was like, and also leading into this, I was like after, when school came around, I was like, man, I gotta lock in. So I was like, I'm gonna start reading Bible. So I bought a Bible, and I started reading it every single day, and I still read it, and I was, like, carrying it around with me everywhere, and then doing that every single day, and here we are now, and I'm just like I've been reading my Bible, like, kind of this is, like, all, like, sped up, but
after Jesus,
yeah, I'm chasing after Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, once the school year started, I, like, saw so many, like, I guess just being in a bigger community of people, of Christ followers, I just saw so many people, like, being on fire for the Lord, and I was like, I want to be on fire too. So I started reading my Bible and doing healthy habits with the Lord and stuff, like getting rid of stuff that I look at, and just all these stuff. And so that's just, here we are now. I'm just still on fire, you know, like, that's why we're here, you know?
Yeah.
But that's my story. It's probably a little bit, I'm probably missing out some stuff, but
well, yeah,
it's
but
whatever.
I mean, like, dude, I feel like for, like, high school kids, something that I've heard in, like, a lot of their testimonies is, like, they'll get, like, a spiritual high, like, at one event, and then they'll, like, kind of, like, dip back down into, like, just, like, a life of loneliness, depression, stuff like that. I feel like people will live a life, like, chasing after God, but, like, they'll, like, only look for, like, the spiritual highs.
Yeah,
And,
like, people,
yeah.
like how I was saying, like, I was going to these events, like church camps and stuff, but I was only going there for the, like, for a little bit, I was only going there for the fun and also for that spiritual high.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like I would only go there to chase that spiritual high, and that's all it was, really. Yeah. But, like, as a daily Christian, like, you have to be on that spiritual high all the time, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, like, you can't always chase after, like, that feeling.
Yeah.
You have to, it's like, following God is also, like, a lot of self-discipline.
Yeah. Like, getting rid of distractions in your life.
Yeah.
Like, I told this to a lot of people, and when they talk about this, I'm like, you have to get rid of, like, distractions in your life, or people in your life, or just things in general, because, like, even though it might be uncomfortable, it'll be good for you, you know? If you really are, like, you want your relationship with Christ to be really good, you gotta get rid of those things, you know? Like, I got rid of people in my life that were, like, keep holding me back, and I got rid of them, and here I am today, like on fire, I feel like. And you just have to get rid of those distractions, even though it might be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I like the Bible verse. That's like, is it your right eye causes you to sin, then gouge it out, or is it like your?
It's like your hand, your right hand.
Yeah, sorry.
Cut it off.
But yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of kids, a lot of Gen Z, even though they may not admit it, a lot of guys especially definitely deal with, like, lust and pornography and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I dealt with lust for, like, a super long time.
Because it's so, like, normalized in our, like, generation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so, like, just normal now. And so is a lot of different stuff.
It's like we have the entire internet at our fingertips.
Yeah.
And we're able to like just have access to literally whatever without any restriction.
Yeah, and like the internet can be used for good and bad.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, for sure. So I guess I'll start talking about
all right, Josiah's turn on the testimony. Let's go.
My turn. All right, so grew up in a Christian house. I went to church regularly with my family. I really had no problem with, my parents. My parents raised me amazingly. There was really nothing wrong with my life, but I don't really know what age. I feel like it was probably around 2020. Like whenever COVID kind of started coming around, is whenever I started kind of like falling away from Christ.
Yeah.
I guess I almost like grew numb to like living a Christian life, and I didn't think much of it. Kind of like how you were saying, like I would like tell people I was Christian.
Yeah.
I would think that I was a Christian and that I was following Jesus, but I really wasn't doing anything. There wasn't any fruit in my life around that time that showed that I was truly following God.
Yeah.
And I guess I was just kind of fooling myself.
Yeah.
And 2020, whenever that started kind of rolling around, there was like that time where we got off of school. Was it like until like the year was over? Was like the year just like over early? Yeah. So I'm home pretty often, and since I'm in like 6th grade at the time, I'm not able to drive anywhere. I'm not really able to see any friends because all my like close friends lived pretty far away, or not far away, but decently far away. And I was pretty much just stuck at home most of the time, and I think that's where kind of like I started developing like addictions. No bueno.
Yeah.
And so I was like living this lifestyle, and I didn't really think much of it. I didn't I knew it was bad, but I didn't have any conviction really hitting me.
Yeah.
At all. And like that's a really bad place to be.
Yeah.
And so I was going to like this Nazarene church at the time. We eventually moved out of that church around 8th grade, 9th grade. Yeah, it was 9th grade.
Yeah, I think it was 9th grade.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention this, but my 7th grade year, I left middle school and I started doing online school, and so that just like made me kind of like isolate myself even more, and kind of like get into that lustful nature even more.
Yeah.
And so 8th grade year, I'm going everywhere with this, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I forgot to mention this also,
goes.
but 8th grade year I started going to a school called Grace Academy. It was like a Christian private school, and it was pretty small, but I think it kind of helped me get a little bit out of that isolation. But it was still like, since it was like so small in a pretty small community, I was still very lonely.
Yeah.
And like I didn't have a lot of friends to really hang out with. And so I became like really socially awkward, and I wouldn't really talk to a lot of people, I would say. And I just kept like getting deeper and deeper into like this lust. And even like just 10th grade and then part of my 11th grade year, I was still struggling. But like I'd make it seem like I wasn't struggling with anything.
Yeah.
Like I put on a facade like I was like this good Christian kid following Jesus.
Yeah.
11th grade year, my sister, was it 11th grade? I'm trying to think. It was my 10th grade, end of my 10th grade year. My sister went to this thing called YWAM, which is Youth with a Mission. She left for about 6 months. Again, isolation was getting bad because my sister left, and now it was just me and my parents. I started, whenever we went to the ski trip,
Yeah.
It was like I was going to like the worship events we had there, and I was like, you know, I felt Jesus.
Yeah.
And like I could definitely feel the Holy Spirit like moving.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a friend there, I'm not gonna say who, that brought like their vape.
Mm-hmm.
And like I started smoking with them like
Mm-hmm.
every now and then during those nights. And we wouldn't let anybody know. And like we would just like, I feel like being around these people low key started like, because of like my isolation and because my distance from God, they started turning me in like the wrong direction instead of the right direction.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was like more manipulative, like they were
like manipulating you?
I was easily manipulated.
You were gullible to them.
Yeah, I was gullible. I was very gullible, and like my mind was very like fluid.
Yeah.
Because of like my isolation, so it started like kind of like, I don't know, getting me even more in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
And over the summer, the best way I can describe this feeling, like that I had like the entire summer,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was looking at my life just through a screen.
Yeah.
I felt like I wasn't in control of anything in my life, and I felt like I wasn't in control of like my sin. I felt like it was just getting out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And like I felt so much shame, and I felt so much distance from God.
Yeah.
And I felt like I wasn't worthy of really his love.
Mm.
You know, even though like I would go to like youth events, and you know, and the youth pastor would say like, oh, no matter like how far you've gone, you're always deserving of love. It's like it never really registered in my head. But my sister came back from YWAM September, and I noticed like there was something kind of different about her. And like she had just been to like Papua New Guinea. She was there for like 3 months, and she was like she was lit for Jesus.
Yeah.
And whenever she came back, I could tell like something was definitely different about her. And during that time, I think she was kind of like witnessing to me. And there was something changing in my life, but I was still kind of like in that state. Like I started realizing like, hey, maybe like doing all these things isn't right. Like I started feeling a little bit of conviction, but it wasn't really hitting. Then there was like something that happened in November of last year that almost like completely ruined my life.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I was suicidal after it happened, but I was definitely like in the lowest state my life has ever been.
Yeah.
And it was like the same day that this whole thing happened, my sister, I was in like the car with her, and I didn't want her to know about like what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she already knew. My parents had already told her because my parents knew. And we like the entire car ride, it was pretty quiet up until like she brought it up, and she was just like, how are you doing, pretty much. And I just started like crying. Like it was the first time I had cried in probably like a year. Or like longer. And my sister just started like talking about like how she didn't care about like anything that I had done. Like she still loved me, and that she still like saw me the same, and that she didn't see me any different. And that, I think that kind of like was an example of like God's love for us.
Yeah.
And like I realized that in that moment. Like whenever she said that, it also kind of made me think about maybe this is like God, how God feels about me. Like he still loves me, and he still sees me the same, even though I've like messed up, even though I've done something that I feel like I can never recover from, like mentally. And since then I started going to this church called Kingdom Church in Darling, and there's this pastor there named Pastor Joel. And I want to say that there was a moment where, like, I mean, I was saved, I feel like, during that month, but I feel like getting closer to God, it wasn't like a snap, like, I'm all of a sudden better, like, I'm done with, like, this whole lust thing, I've moved on, you know, I'm completely different. It was like a process that kind of happened over time. And these past few months is where I've kind of like peaked in a way.
Yeah.
Because like senior year, I'm like a lot more sociable than normal. And I'm talking to a lot more people, and I'm like closer to God than I've ever been before. And I'm like chasing after God.
Yeah.
And I went to Charlie Kirk's memorial thing. He definitely had influence on me. That event was definitely a blessing to be able to go to. And I feel like after I left that event, it inspired me to like dive deeper into God's word. Like it was like kind of what you were saying. I wasn't like really digging in my Bible, but I was like still on fire for Jesus.
Yeah.
But I started like digging in my Bible, and I started like trying to get more intimate with God. And whenever I started doing that, I feel like so many more opportunities opened up. I went to this thing called Communion America like a few weeks ago, and it was basically like 50 tents were set up on the Capitol Mall, and each tent like was like representing a state. And I helped run the Arkansas tent, and I feel like God placed in my heart at that time to like spread the gospel, because I feel like I was getting closer to God, but I was like too scared to really share the gospel with people. Really, I was still kind of like, you know, shying away from that. But I feel like since then, like there have been other opportunities that have opened up, and like I'm starting to tell others about the gospel. I feel like I've been more like bold.
Yeah, I feel like the same way with me. Like ever since this year started, I don't know, sophomore year was just different. I don't know, it's like on steroids. I don't know. It's like it made me so much like my relationship with Christ just like grew so much more stronger this year, and also just like became more social and stuff. And like anytime I have a chance to, I'll do it, you know. And it's just awesome. I don't know. It's just like this year has been a great year, you know. But that's the end.
Well, it's just the beginning.
Just the beginning. Yeah, it's just still going, you know. Testimonies have no end, you know.
Yeah.
Until you obviously die, but you know, like our testimonies will continue going, you know. But great episode, great first episode of Growing Fire. That's the name of our podcast. I don't know if we mentioned that. Yeah. Maybe we have, but
it is Growing Fire because we're gonna be growing
our spiritual fire, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yep. All right.
It's the first episode. All right. Well.
Thank you guys
for tuning in. Make sure to put down what y'all would like for us to talk about. This is the first episode.
DM either me or Andres or
this account. If you're on YouTube,
Instagram account. This might be
YouTube. Search up our Instagram account. DM us on there, and just put in suggestions which you like us to talk about, and we'll talk about on our next episode.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, see y'all later.
See ya.
God bless y'all.